East Africans are, of course, expected to dominate the London Marathon when it gets underway on Sunday. New champions will be crowned after the men's holder Eliud Kipchoge of Kenya opted out. Another Kenyan, the 2016 women's winner Jemima Sumgong, was excluded following a failed doping test.
Road running fans could be in for a world record treat during Sunday's London Marathon. Ethiopia's Kenyan Bekele is taking aim at Dennis Kimeto's 2 hour, 2 minutes and 57 seconds world best time over the 42-kilometer distance. Bekele's last world record attempt was not successful in Berlin last year, where he posted a new personal best of 2 hours, 3 minutes and 3 seconds.
Of course, you never know, in marathons anything can happen, so you cannot say, exact, I will do these things. So the only thing, at this stage, I'm ready, I'm full confident.
The Ethiopian, however, isn't the only one seeking a fast time in the men's elite field, which also features his compatriot, Olympic marathon silver medalist Lilesa Disesa and world champion Girme Gebreselassie from Eritrea.
The most important thing for me is how to win fastest time. If I win fastest time, I will be with the position. So I'm not thinking all the time how to be with the top 3 or something like that.
Defending champion Eliud Kipchoge of Kenya opted out of this year's race to focus on an attempt to dip under 2 hours in the marathon. Another East African battle is expected in the women's elite field, with two-time London winner Mary Keitany of Kenya a favourite.
I've trained enough for London and I'm ready to race on Sunday with my colleagues.
The defending champion in this category will also be absent. Olympic champion Jemima Sumgong of Kenya was excluded from the race after testing positive for banned blood booster EPO in February.
It really embarrasses the sport. I'm really ashamed. I'm ashamed because we have been losing top athletes like that.
Kenya's 5,000-meter Olympic champion Vivian Cheruiyot will be making her full marathon debut, with Ethiopians Tirunesh Dibaba and Tigist Tufa also expected to impress. Celestine Caronel, CGTN.
Right now, for more on this issue, we are joined live in studio here in Nairobi by Mutwiri Mutuota, who is a sports analyst, not only a sports analyst, but a veteran sports journalist in his own right. Mutwiri, welcome to the show. I'll begin by asking you about London tomorrow. What can we expect from the action there? Is it too naive to talk about a record?
Well, it's not far-fetched if you consider that we have Kenyan Bekele there, who's ran the second fastest time in history when he won the Berlin Marathon last year, missing the world record by only 7 seconds.
Right.
And he's the one who's starting a men's field that is where we have now Ethiopia would be the most dominant country in that, because they have also they have people like Lilesa Disesa, and then of course we have the Eritrean world champion, that is Girme Gebreselassie. Right. But all eyes will be on Bekele, especially after his well-publicized world record bid in Dubai did not come off as expected. In the women's race, of course, we're going to see dominance again from the East Africans. We have multiple Olympic champion and record holder Tirunesh Dibaba. We have people like Male Dibaba, the Olympic champion. But all eyes will be on the Kenyan trio, that is Florence Kiplagat, who's won Chicago twice. We also have Vivian Cheruiyot, who's making a very debut after winning the Olympics in 5,000. She's been doing up to 150 kilometers exercises, training exercises in readiness of a marathon debut. And we can't forget that in the absence of the defending champion, you also have Hela Kiprop, who won the World Championship silver medal in 2015. So we are going to have new champions crowned, but it is going, last time it was Kenyans have dominated this race. Last year they won the double, but this time we could see the honors split between Ethiopia and Kenya.
And you mentioned the defending champion. Obviously, Jemima Sumgong's doping test. Do you think that it's cast a negative cloud now on the Kenyan athletes taking part tomorrow?
Of course, it was even as right now the resort management process is going on. She's not been sanctioned. Her B sample has not been tested and all that. But the reports cast a very dark shadow on the Kenyans again, because they're in the WADA watch list and the IAAF watch list for the second year running. Of course, even in the press conferences and all that, even having the majesty of what these Kenyans have done. The fact that there is for the first time we have an Olympic champion who a sample failed the drug test, it cast a very dark shadow on the Kenyan runners, and it is also heaping the pressure on them. We saw them win Boston last week, but the questions were still raised. This time they have gone to London. If they win, of course, more questions will come.
Indeed.
So it's up to the country to clean up its act and also to come up with a sustainable anti-doping program that will clear it off the WADA and IAAF watch lists.
All right, now moving ahead, looking ahead to the World Championships, how brave do you think that Wade van Niekerk is to have opted to run in 2 different events? Is that going to be a factor for him?
The fact that the IAAF switched the athletics program so that to allow an athlete to double in 200 and 400 meters, it is based on the strong belief that he can actually do it and become the first athlete to win that double, the lap and the short and the short dash double at the World Championships. And last year, speaking to Wayne in Monaco when he came for the IAAF World Athletics Gala, he was saying that he is the world record holder in 400 meters, but he prefers the 200 meters. And in fact, he even invited Bolt for a showdown, and Bolt did not take up the offer. Yeah. So that shows even somebody like Bolt even said that he can do a better 200 meters. It's only that injuries have stopped his progress in 200 meters, but I think he can do both. And I think that we also set for history. The history that he made in New York will be followed up for being the first athlete to win 200 and 400 meters on the track.
Yeah. All right, finally, very quickly, we've almost run out of time. What are your expectations? The World Relays get underway in Nassau. Is this going to be another USA dominance, or could we see some changes?
Well, the Jamaican team has sent a strong team there, but I expect the USA again to dominate, led by, of course, Justin Gatlin. They are going to dominate the short sprints. For the African interest there, we can only hope for medals in the 800 meters, where Kenya is, for example, is represented by the world junior champion Kipchoge Bet, and of course Ferguson Rotich, who won the gold medal in 2014. But this is going to be the US to lose. They are set for a 3rd straight golden button.
All right, we will of course be watching the action. Thank you once again, Mutwiri, for joining us. Mutwiri Mutuota, who is a sports analyst and sports journalist here in Nairobi.